to the Fireside Chat with Vaibhav. Vaibhav is CEO of TransBnk. A quick introduction to all of you who's watching this. Vaibhav has about 2 decades of experience in the banking, financial services and payments ecosystem. He's also an angel investor in Fintech, blockchain, EV, EdTech and InsurTech. He founded TransBnk in 2022, and it is a transbanking platform to make agile and seamless business transactions for corporate, commercial and institutional clients. Welcome to the Fireside Chat with CRIF, Mark, and it's an honor to have you here.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us. So the theme for today is rethinking credit in a volatile world, and with more reference to the AI and all that's evolving around the AI ecosystem, right?
Yeah.
So our first question to you is to understand your thoughts around what is your thought on how the credit evaluation systems or credit risk models should evolve, given all the geopolitical and macroeconomic shifts that you're seeing in the economy. And that's something that's extremely dynamic. So how do you think our credit evaluation models should also evolve around this?
Sure. I think, Hi, thanks. So I think, before talking to credit evaluation model, I think we've been predominantly the country where we've been looking at unsecured lending. And of course, there's a policy guidance which is provided. And also, it's always better to have a secured lending practices. It's always good for the consumers, the lenders, everybody, or even bankers, right? So I think in the credit underwriting model, apart from the credit scores what we have, it's always imperative to build the ecosystem where it can talk about creating the cash flow based lending or collateral based lending, or even tokenizing land records, which I think government is doing now. So I think it's actually required to collect more and more data, right? And probably some mechanism where the lien marking is possible, so that becomes secured lending, right, compared to unsecured lending, of course. And it's of course that more the data you collect, it's better. So granularity of data sizing, sampling, everything is pretty important. And I think probably India is one market where this is evolving very fast or very well.
Thank you. I think we are also seeing this shift of fintechs moving more from an unsecured lending to a secured kind of a lending. So thank you for your thoughts on that. So the next question is that with AI coming into decisioning and credit risk analytical models, do you see these AI tools completely take over this, or do you still see that there will be scope for manual intervention in underwriting?
So I think in the middle term, we would require some interventions right now, but I think AI is also evolving, and it's not only about the AI, right? It's also about which kind of LLM which are being used, stability of LLMs, data localization. There are multiple norms because this is very crucial, very sensitive data. So probably in the near term, we would see a combination of AI plus manual, but I think in the long term, probably 3 to 5 years horizon, I think the AI, because I think there's a repeatability, so there's some kind of a pattern which needs to be but because the LLMs and the processes are still getting built and getting tested, it will take some time for the models to get mature, and that's where probably the AI will take over maybe next 3 to 5 years.
So what kind of guardrails do you think we should put within the AI ecosystem to ensure that it's not biased or it doesn't fail?
No, I think that's why I was talking about the LLMs and the maturity of LLMs, because we need more and more data to train them. These are ultimately generative trends, right? So we need more data. We don't need only 1 year data or 2 year data or 3 year data. We need the data which is predominantly mature over time, and of course the compliance, the regulatory compliance is quite important. Data localization or some other things, right? The moment all these guardrails are put together, that's where we'll be able to then trust that model and then take a decision, because this is a very large decision. Basically, let's say giving a loan or not. These are very large decisions. So probably we need more and more iterations, more and more data on this field. Today, I think the models are evolving, but there is certain level of dependency on good part is at least one wave has gone where the paper data is completely migrated to digital data, right? but still there are uncertainties around DPDP and so on and so forth, due to which of course this thing will evolve ultimately. And we're talking about consent economy during my panel today. It was in the similar lines, right? So the data protection board will form the policies, and then of course the AI models will evolve. So I think the foundation layer is getting built, and then of course it will scale well.
Thank you for your thoughts. How this is a very specific question to TransBank. How is TransBank leveraging the AI tools into your ecosystem? How are you? So when you go out there to fintechs and lenders, and when you are doing a demo or a POC of your services, how are these AI tools transitioning into your ecosystem? What do you? How do you build these models around AI?
So, see, typically we are using AI predominantly on the tech automation piece, and of course, there are a lot of workflows what we have built on top of the banking transaction banking layer, right? So, so the moment these transactions are getting captured in the system, we're able to use AI in order to see the early warning signals, dashboard analytics. So I think it's all about usage of every aspect of it, using either earlier we used to use of course workflows, and now instead of workflows we are piloting AI. The question, however, remains is that the same thing. How much you can rely on these data, because there are large financial transactions in the enterprise
Right.
world. So we need to of course be doubly sure before we launch it, and then of course banks also are, or NBFCs also will be doubly sure to use this for a transactional purpose. They can always use for, let's say, technology automation, process automation, or the fraud risk management. But for actual transaction processing, we'll have to still see the maturity of the model.
Thank you for your thoughts. So, how do you think the regulatory ecosystem around AI and modeling is evolving? What are your thoughts on that?
I think there is a tremendous thrust on use of technology, and the entire JFF today is evolving around
Is about
AI
that.
as a theme. So almost all the departments are talking about adopting AI, and of course they are giving very clear policy level guidelines about, be it DPDP, which is the foundation layer, consent layers. So I think it is evolving well. We've been getting great support from the ecosystem as a whole, not only from the PSUs or government, but it's also the ecosystem like PCI or SROs, which are working on a unified format. So it's a great, and as I said earlier, it will take a couple of years more to then get into a larger one.
My last question to you is, while it's not in the list of questions that I wanted to ask you, what do you think would be a compelling factor for anybody to be a entrepreneur in this part of the business, in the AI business? I want to use the
So,
mic.
I think there's no compelling factor as such, but yes, of course, somebody who is very eager to solve the real world problems. And there are far too many problems that are yet to be solved. Cross border is one large area. Analytics, we are still not there in terms of the tremendous use of analytics. We still are superficial, scratching the surface. Transaction banking is where we are. It's a very large space. Commercial cards. So there are a lot of problems which are yet to be resolved at a scale at masses. And that's where I think even for government institutions or government transactions, it's a very large mandate which can be worked out. So, a lot to do, and a lot of entrepreneurs should be there around in this particular thing. I think JFF is a great thing for that. Of course, you guys have been great support for that also. Thanks.
Thank you, Vaibhav.
Thank you.